Hello, hello, hello. I am making a video. It's running. Okay, so making a foot massage video again. I just took a foot bath and I made an amazing foot bath with a blend of these yellow flowers there. Those yellow flowers. I don't know what the name of this flower is, but I'm gonna have to research it and see if I can find it on Google. These are like lawn flowers. They grow really tall. They can grow to like 6 feet tall, I think. And they have lots of little yellow flowers in a cluster like that. And they smell a little bit like chamomile. So I picked a whole bunch of those today. And I put them into a blender together with real nice spring water from a wonderful place nearby where they have iron, very high iron spring water. And we don't have iron water. Our spring is coming from farther away, is what I heard, and it doesn't have any kind of coloring in it. It doesn't have any heavy minerals in it. It's like it's good water. It's very good water. But then it runs through real old dirty pipes in this house that I don't know. I think those are copper pipes, and the water comes out like blue, sort of. And I don't know what kind of metals are in that pipe. God. So, but yeah. But we have good water filters, of course. And the water is good. The water doesn't cause any problems. So, but I like to use that really nice iron loaded spring water from that one place where there's a spigot right at the well, and we always load up some water from there and bring it every time we drive by there. So, and it's really good. I need iron. I need a lot of iron. So it's real good supplementation. So yeah, I made a foot bath with these yellow flowers. I stuffed them in the blender. I put way too much in it, and it causes the blade to jam and to get stuck and all of that. It's not good. So I have to remember next time I'm only gonna put the stems in it and only cut them like an inch short so that the material doesn't get stuck in the blender and the blade so it doesn't cause the blades to get dull or jammed or loose or something. So, and yeah, I can only put I put about a quarter of that into the blender and the rest water, and that way it doesn't get all twirled up in there. That way it blends it very well. That's what I have to do. But it's okay. I managed to blend it fairly well, and then the flower, although it's green and yellow, the flour blended up in the water turned the water into a very dark brown soup, like a nature soup. And it smelled so good. And I put that into 2 containers like that are open, like open-ended containers that are just the right size for 1 foot. I have 2 of those out there from the Dollar Tree store. I got those in the past, and I put this blend into those, and I also put more of those yellow flowers that are cut that didn't fit in the blender. I put them into those containers as well, and then I put water in it as well from the garden hose and filled them all the way up. And then I sat there leaning against the ivy wall, cement ivy wall. I was sitting on a water container that's very tall, like a stool, and put my feet into those, and that into the containers with the flower material in it, and that felt so incredibly good. I can't even put words into it. That felt so good. I mean, that is the ultimate. That's the ultimate foot bath. The ultimate. I wish Paul would do it. He doesn't listen to my health advice, so but at least I get to enjoy this, and that's good too. And yesterday, when we came back, I wiped the baby dog with those same yellow flowers, with those flower bundles. I wiped him all over his body, and I got the flower material on him, and he really, really enjoyed that. A flower massage. And it kept him free from mosquitoes. Can you believe it? So these yellow flowers are also mosquito and fly repelling. This is really amazing stuff. Unbelievable stuff. And all from nature, you know. You can't buy this in the store. You could never even buy this. This is a present from Mother Earth for us. These kind of things. And I'm giving you this advice to do it, you know. Health advice to take care of yourself in this way. It costs you nothing. So do it. Use the presents from Mother Earth. And drink a lot of herbal teas with plants from your garden or from anywhere. I mean, you can just walk through a city, and there will be hedge plants that are all ready to be harvested. I mean, at least it's not illegal, I think, to pick yourself some leaves, particularly when they hang over the sidewalk or when before the gardener comes and trims them. Or you can ask the gardener if you can have some of that trimmed material, okay, and bring it home and study the plant and find out what the plant is, okay. Even if it says toxic plant on the internet, it is most likely a medicinal plant. If you take only a tiny little fragment from the leaf, right? Depending on the plant. I mean, I test these things on myself, so I know from overdosing what amount is too much. So, plucking some of my hairs out. It feels unbelievably good when you do a foot bath like that. You can feel in the foot, in this foot bath water that is saturated with raw plant material, saturated with these yellow flower juices and all of that, and it feels incredible. I feel the power of this. I'm not exaggerating. There's a power in the plant, in that material, that gets into your foot when you do that. Or if you make an entire whole bath for your whole body, can you imagine how amazing that feels? Dr. Scholl's talked about this already. He has Dr. Richard Scholl's holistic practitioner. He wrote an amazing book, amazing, really amazing. That is the most amazing holistic healing book I have ever seen. 20 Steps, I think it's the title, 20 Steps to Holistic Healing. And then he has all listed in different chapters. One chapter for each modality, and all natural, all completely from Mother Earth, everything. And he gives you advice on what you can do even without money, what you can do to get well. And I think that's very generous and very kind and caring of him to do that, because most people, they just they give you some kind of there's a whole range of crooks out there, Most people don't give in. Most people, if they give any advice at all, they'll tell people to buy their products. Dr. Scholl's doesn't even do that. He says you don't even have to buy his products if you want to go on the holistic path. You can do that yourself. You can go out there in nature and pick all of these things yourself. He declares every ingredient that he uses in his tinctures, for example, or in his detox tea, in his kidney bladder tea, for example. Those are amazing. He has juniper berries in it, and I knew from Dr. Scholl's to pick juniper berries. Okay, from him, I learned all of that from him. So when we went to Zion National Park with our motorhome on our honeymoon trip, that was a long time ago. That was in 2001. When we got married in Vegas in a courthouse, we went to Zion with our former dogs Ludwig and Samantha, and we parked at the peak of a mountain, and it was so beautiful and so blissful there in Utah. And there were all juniper brushes, very tall, like trees almost already. Very large, I think they are juniper trees. Yeah, they are trees actually, juniper trees, and all growing all the way around there. And when we got up the next day, there was snow all around us. It had snowed that night. And I walked around with the dogs, and there were all the juniper trees around us, and they were hanging full of ripe juniper berries. They're very bitter and kind of different. They are not like fruits. So, and I guess most people don't pick those because they taste bitter. But they're highly medicinal. So I grabbed one of those cloth bags and I filled the entire cloth bags full of juniper berries. And we took them with us and brought them home with us. And I gave Ludwig, who had a creeping chronic pneumonia. He got that long time before I met Paul, because Paul wasn't careful with him and Paul didn't know how to help Ludwig. So I learned all of this from Dr. Schultz, that the juniper berries are highly anti-inflammatory. They will heal your entire lung system, your heart. They heal everything. They heal you from bladder infections, from everything, from any kind of inflammation or chronic infection. And so I made tea with those juniper berries every day. Dr. Scholl's, if you buy that from Dr. Scholl's, it costs a lot of money. I mean, I got juniper berries worth like hundreds of dollars worth. I would say $500 worth of juniper berries right there in the National Zion National Park. That was a real present for Mother Earth. So I made the dogs, both of them. Samantha, I made her put some tea into her food as well. So I made the tea with that, real strong concoction. I put a lot of that in Ludwig's food dish. He gobbled it down. He loved it. And I put some in Samantha's as well, and she loved it too. And I drank the tea as well, and before we even got back home, Ludwig had already cured his pneumonia. He was no longer coughing. That was really amazing. An amazing, amazing healing experience. And then I kept giving it to him for another 2 months just to make sure that the pneumonia would stay away, would not come back. And it never came back. So, fantastic. That's a real present for Mother Earth. Mother Earth has so many presents for us, you cannot even imagine. So many presents. I mean, this planet is loaded with precious, 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 infinitely precious presents. But the corporate agenda, the oil industry, greed, these people want to destroy this planet. That makes me infinitely sad. They don't value anything. They don't respect life. They don't respect the frogs in Yellowstone. Entire wetlands. They go there and do fracking. It's like a grid network of oil pipelines. It destroyed the entire Yellowstone wetlands area. All the frogs, they all got destroyed. This is a real crime. This is the worst crime there is. This is the worst capital crime there is. What the oil industry has done there, and in many other places on Earth as well. Okay, in the ocean as well. It makes me infinitely sad. When this precious Earth ship, Mother Earth, our ship, our vessel that carries us, when the Mother Earth gives us all of these things for free, all of these wonderful presents, and people step on it and destroy it, that's infinitely sad. It's beyond words. So we need to become aware that the answer to our healing is found in nature, in what this planet is giving us, in the abundance of fauna and minerals and rocks. No, I used the wrong word, fauna. Flora and fauna, they always say. Flora, I mean only the plant world. I'm not talking about, I mean fauna in terms of that faunus, okay? That I just made a connection. Faunus is the pagan fertility god, okay? And this fertility god, the sculpture that they created, or the drawing, represents the fauna, represents animal life, okay? Abundance of animal life, and we need to respect the animals and never, ever, ever bother them. Never hurt an animal, never hunt, okay? So flora in regards to plants. This is flora. This is fauna. Me. I'm fauna. I'm fauna, the female version of faunus, okay? So for fauna means all animal life, animal evolution. So the abundance of that, and we need to treat them well. Those are sentient beings. They have a central nervous system. The plant doesn't. So the flora is there for us to harvest, not the fauna. This here is not there to be harvested. My hand, my arm, my leg is not there to be cut or harvested, because I have a central nervous system. I feel pain, okay? And so does my dog, and so does the deer, and the wild cats, and the birds, and all the living beings. Okay? This is a living being too, but this one doesn't have a central nervous system. So plants there are many different plant species, of course, and they have a nervous system that's very rudimentary and that's only peripheral, and it does do some functions to protect itself. A flower can close its petals at night, for example, or a plant can also excrete a poison. These are all self-protective mechanisms. There's no thinking behind it. So there's a resin coming out of here, out of this, the Douglas fir. I see it in this, it's reflecting sunlight. That resin smells amazing, and that resin is a self-protection. So it will, if an insect digs onto the surface of the twig, then there will be a resin coming out, a resin globule. And that resin globule will protect its bark, okay, from the insect biting into it. So there is a nervous system that it feels things, it does, but not in the sense of, too bad I have to explain that to people, but I feel like I have to explain it to people because I get very stupid arguments from people that are not valid. Okay, you eat plants, they're alive too. Yes, so that's why I'm explaining this, because you cannot eat a living being that has a central nervous system, okay, that feels pain. Cannot do that. But you can eat or harvest a plant. We have to eat plants. This is our life giver, okay? And some plants don't want to be eaten, of course, but there's no thinking behind it. This is just something, a mechanism that has evolved. And the ones with that mechanism survive, obviously. So plants are good for us, okay? We need to eat them, we need to use them for cosmetic. So, but do not use animal material. It's very important. Flora and fauna, plants and animal life. And Faunus is the representation, the god of fertility, the god of animal life, the god of sexual activity, reproduction, pleasure, all of that, represents all of that. And it's a bummer that the Roman Catholic Church used that symbol and turned it into the devil. It's a shame. I don't like the word shame. It's a pity. Okay, that's what it is. It's a pity that they had to do it. Okay, and then they invaded everywhere in Europe, and they threatened people, threatened the pagans to abandon their god, and they told them that's the devil, that's something bad, or that's a monster, that is evil or something, and that's a lie. It's simply a lie. The fertility god, sex, pleasure, enjoyment, all of that's not bad, that's not evil. Okay. And today people completely misunderstand what that symbol is all about. Completely misunderstand it. It had been hijacked in the most obnoxious and misunderstood ways one can even say it. One can even imagine. Yeah, it's sad, all of that. What has happened, what has been happening with the human species. So let's come back to our roots, So let's come back to our pagan roots, and not just in Europe, but all the way around the globe, So the Native Americans here in the United States, they have their pagan roots. They have their native roots. Those are, if we want to use that word, pagan, what does it mean? Pagan. I think pagan means farmer. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it means. So, the farmer, the land user, maybe even the original nomads, hunters and gatherers. The hunting part is wrong, okay, but they mainly ate plant food, mainly. Yeah. It felt so good on my foot. What came out of that Roman Catholic religion is not good. It's a mentally ill development for people to invade other countries and force them into their religion. That's an evil act. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. Okay. The god Faunus is a good god, a real god, generous, giving, life-giving god. That is not what people make out of it. That's not what some devil worshippers think it is. That's not something that requires you to give an animal sacrifice or a plant sacrifice. Okay. The god Faunus doesn't want you to sacrifice anything. He wants you to live in nature, with nature, from nature, through nature. Okay. He wants you to be grateful for plants, for this beautiful oak type of plant, okay, for the Douglas fir tree, okay, you can see it, and the Christmas trees and all of that. He wants you to be grateful, have gratitude. He wants you to be grateful to your own body. He wants you to respect your body. He wants you to enjoy your body, enjoy others people's bodies in a loving, wonderful, kind togetherness. Being together with another living being, okay? Being together with any living being in a platonic, I don't even like that philosopher Plato, but so I'm not going to use that. In a non-sexual way, okay? This is wonderful. So, and then if there is a sexual connection formed between two people, whether that's woman and man or two women or two men, it doesn't matter, okay? You love the person who you love. Nobody can dictate to you who to love. So that's a beautiful thing. That's wonderful when that is it's a unity, a togetherness, okay? That will have great pleasure that comes out of it, okay? But what have people done with that? What have humans done out of that sexual pleasure that's supposed to be pleasurable? What have they made out of that? They have made it into neurosis. They've made it into bondage, into pain. That's not what Faunus is talking about. That's not what Faunus wants for us. Faunus wants us to be loving each other and to feel real love for each other. Like real caring, loving. If I'm with a man, I want that man to love me, to care about this here. Not call me names, not call me garbage or meat, okay? Or prey or whatever. But call me by my name, Nikki, and pet me and say, I love you. I love this skin. okay? Not hurt me. Not hurt me physically or emotionally. But look after me. Want the best for me. To want me to be happy, to feel good. And in the unity with him, to feel pleasure of the highest. To let me have agency. To let me say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And not get upset because I say, oh, I'm not into butt fucking, okay? And they get upset when I say that. I'm not into it. Ah, you're bigot. You're prude. No, I'm not prude at all. Like, not at all. Okay? I'm all for sexual pleasure and eating and good life. I'm very hedonistic in that way. Very hedonistic. But not on cost of others, of course, right? Okay. I hope that is understood. I'd never do anything on cost of anyone. I always put other living beings before my own needs. And that's what a real mother does. Okay? That's what a real decent boyfriend would do for me. Put me over his own pleasure or whatever. And then we find pleasure together. Okay, so always put dogs over his own needs. Okay. That's what a real father does. And that's the man I want. An altruistic man is what I want. And if I can't find that man, then I will not have a man. Okay. That's all there is to it. I will not get together with anyone then. So, until I find that. It doesn't matter when I find that person or if I never find that person. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because my pleasure is not that important. What's important is to make the best out of your existence. To be there for other living beings. Okay. To sign petitions. That's what my friend Sandy and I and Paul are doing. Those are the only people I know that sign petitions. That sign petitions on their own accord without anyone nudging them or telling them to do it. So there may be more. I think Jennifer is doing that as well. I'm sure Jennifer and her husband are doing that as well. So those are local animal rescuers. Okay, so I'm sure they're doing that as well. So those people are very, very rare. Okay? Very rare. So rare that it's like in one community, you're lucky if you find 5 people. in a community of thousands of people. Okay? And I'm giving you some reality check here on this. And it's sad, makes me sad that there are so few people that are altruistic and responsibly living. Very, very, very sad that it's so few. That all the other people are they're very selfish, in a selfish way, pleasure oriented. I'm pleasure oriented, but not in a selfish way. And there's nothing wrong with being pleasure oriented. My mother thought there was something wrong with it. That's sad. That's brainwashing from the Catholic and the Lutheran. It's more brainwashing. Okay. Friedrich Nietzsche talked about this as well. This is very sad. He said people need to take care of themselves, of their own bodies. Okay. It's very important that we take care of ourselves in every way. And that we also have good food to eat, that we have a good life to live. It's very important. No alcohol, no drugs, no nicotine, no tobacco. No smoke inhalation. Okay? Very important. Our lungs they're our life givers. We have to breathe air, fresh air that comes out of plants. We have to breathe that every day. Don't take that for granted. All of this is important. Question religion. Most people seem to not be able to question religion. Elon Musk I don't know if he doesn't drink alcohol. I don't know that much about him, but I know that he is trying to save the world. Okay. And whatever he does in his private life, and I know that he would never hurt anyone, but whatever he does in his private life is his business. Okay. Whether he has lots of women or drinks alcohol maybe sometimes, or maybe he doesn't even drink alcohol. I don't know. But that's his business. Okay. I'm against drinking alcohol, so I don't agree with Elon Musk on everything, but people should leave him alone. Okay, he's trying his very level best to save the world. So let's save him, okay? Let's save him so he can save the world. Don't sabotage him. Don't slander him and don't sue him. He's trying to save us. So I don't know, but I think he doesn't drink alcohol, or if he does, he probably not. He's not addicted to it, and he doesn't do that all the time. He doesn't even have time at all for anything social. He works tirelessly, non-stop. He doesn't get enough sleep. And I don't agree with that. I think he needs to get sleep. It's important that he gets sleep. It's important that he creates a robot that can take his place while he's sleeping. Okay. So, very important. That's the number one technology that he has to come up with now, so that he gets sleep. And or create an entire army of robots that take his place, that think like he does, that have his brain upload, and who are protecting him, okay, who let him sleep, who guard him from other people, from the mafia, from snipers and all of that. It's very important That's the first thing he should come up with. More important even than some kind of high-speed underground boat to rescue anyone. It's more important that he fixates his work on creating an army of robots that are taking his space, that are working instead of him having to work. Okay. That protect him. That's the most important thing. Yes. And then everything else can come from there. Okay. So I hope he doesn't drink any alcohol. I know that he does not smoke. Joe Rogan only did that, forced him into this to make him look bad. I wonder how much they paid Joe Rogan for that ridiculous trick. Ridiculous asshole trick to do on someone who always tries to please everyone. So Elon Musk not wanting to be some kind of, he didn't want to be rude. He thought that would be rude if he didn't play along with that. But he should absolutely say no more often to people. Yes, you have to say no to Joe Rogan. That's all there is to it. I would never even go on his show. I would never even talk to him. Never. I don't like Joe Rogan. Okay, I think Joe Rogan is greedy and very self-absorbed. And I think he takes, I don't know. I'm not making assumptions, but he looks like he's not taking care of his health. He might be drinking alcohol, he might be taking cocaine. So people say all kinds of shit all the time. The haters say all kinds of shit about me. I have the right to say all kinds of things about other people, but I don't say it as an accusation. I say it in form of a question, or I say that could be the case. I'm not making definitive exclamations on anyone. And I have the right to do this. This is my freedom of speech. I don't like the way Joe Rogan handles his show. Okay, I don't like it at all. I wonder why I'm coughing right now. There's a lot of people I don't like. And that's okay. And that's why I don't have any friends. People either don't like me or I don't like them. So that's what's happening. And it's okay. It is what it is. I'm okay with it. I made peace with it. Okay. It is what it is. Because I will never cave in. I will never cater to BS. I will never do it. Never. Okay. I'm very crystal clear, and I'm still learning also. Okay. But I'm very crystal clear on a lot of stuff. And what I'm crystal clear on, other people are still doing. Okay. And so I don't tolerate it. And because I don't tolerate it, they don't tolerate me. And I usually don't tolerate them. particularly not when it comes to in-person friendships. So I don't tolerate my brother, okay? I don't tolerate the way he acts. I love him as a living being. I wish him well, but I don't tolerate the way he acts. So, and I have the right to. I have the right to do that. And it's okay. And I made peace with it. I cried a lot, but I made peace with it. My brother is trying to get the full inheritance. That's what it looks like. And it's heartbreaking, but I move on. Okay. What my dad makes out of this is up to him. All I can do is I give my dad the facts and give him that information that I know to be problematic, or let's put it this way, that I am suspecting. Okay, I'm not even giving definite exclamations. I also tell him what I know to be absolutely factual, and I tell him my suspicions. Okay. And I tell him how I feel about different things with my brother. And if my dad takes my brother's side, then that's what he has to do. Then that's what he wants to do, then that's what he does. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay. And if my brother gets the full inheritance and I get nothing, then that's the fate that I have to accept, right? Can't do anything about it then. I mean, the only thing I can and that do is what I have done so far yet, until this point. Okay? And I can't do any further. I can only tell my dad, this is what I think, this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried for my dad's safety also, because I don't trust the people my brother hangs out with. And that's all I can do. You know, I can't go there and kidnap my dad to protect him, right? He's 92 years old. He is not demented. I don't have the ability to get custody over him, obviously. I hope my brother hasn't gotten something like this already. That would be a tragedy. So I don't know why everyone gave my brother the custody over my mother. It should have been my dad who should have gotten it when my mother got sick in the end. So, but yeah, there's nothing I can do from here, halfway around the globe. Okay. All I can do is I give my love, my friendship, in form of video talks, emails, and a paper letter. Okay. I have several paper letters that I have written in the past. So that's all I can do. Yeah. I leave this now up to the blue God. And I view the whole world like that. Okay. I give people the truth. I give people that what I know to be true. I know that love is truth. Okay. Love is a universal truth that can never be scientifically refuted. Okay. It is a universal truth. And I live by that. I live by love and truth. And I'm learning, and I'm trying to heal, and I'm trying to make my life great, and I'm trying to help others, other living beings. Okay. That's how I live my life. And that's how I make my videos. and I share whatever I find, the treasures that I find, the treasures of earth and nature. I share that with other people, and because I want to help. And if other people don't use my advice, then there's nothing I can do about it, okay? When I tell people don't log trees and they don't listen, what can I do about it? I'm not an authority in a dictatorial type of way. I'm not a dictator. I don't have an army of robots that can go out there and protect the trees from being logged. Not yet. Maybe in the future sometime. And I really hope so. Okay. Peace and love for all living beings.